Hello and welcome to this tutorial in how to auto-craft pure crystals in Applied Energy 62 with Steve's Factory Manager as the only mod doing the work for you. So these are the only two mods that will be involved in this video. It can be good to know. And I have already built it. I will go through it, exactly how it works, and if you need to check out every step, I will rebuild it almost from scratch over here. So if you want to check step by step, then just stay tuned to the end, but I will go through it first. In this setup, I have 4 crafting CPUs. It's not needed, you only need 1, but then of course you can't order several things at the same time. So for demonstration purposes, it's quite good to have 4. But in a real network you probably have a few anyway, so it's quite real-like. Okay, let's get started. Of course, I have 4 patterns. I have done them with the pattern terminal, so we can autocraft pure crystal, all 3, and the Fluix crystal as well. All these patterns are placed in this interface. These are the standard patterns, 1 seed to 1 pure, and a redstone charge surface and nether quartz to 2 fluix. So when I place them into this interface, they will be pushed into this iron chest. But they won't stay there for long, because here is the part where Steve's Factory Manager takes over the process. Or at least the handling. The process of growing is done by the accelerators, as it normally does. So in Steve's Factory Manager, I have done 3 simple programs. These are completely separate from the network. It has basically no idea what's happening before this chest, and it will just output the result into the interface. So I can put seeds into this chest and the process will start without me ordering anything. So they are completely standalone. And before I go through the code, we have the item valve here. It's right below down there, below the water block. In this setup, as you can see, I have 5 accelerators to speed it up as much as possible. On this side, I have the redstone emitter. That will output a redstone signal to toggle this toggle bus to provide power to the red network. You can have it green, I mean, it doesn't matter, it's the same network. I just want to make clear what's activated at the same time. So green is always active and red is only active if we have a redstone emitter. Well, emitting a redstone signal. We have these inventory cables just to connect everything to each other. And yeah, that's the setup. You don't need more than that, but you need a program to run, or 3 programs. We have the first program here. Trigger, every second I will do a check, and we'll check a condition. The condition is that we should check the item valve. We will check the upside, on what's on top of it, and that means what's outside of it. Do we have any seeds? If any of these seeds, and if I right click, I will get into these extra settings for that condition. I have fuzzy detection on all these 3. Fuzzy detection. I need this because the seed will grow in %, and that will change its data. So we need to have a fuzzy detection to make sure we cover all the growth stages. So that's our condition. Do we have seeds on top of the valve? If we do, true. Then we select our emitter. On the west side, and if you check up to the minimap, I'm pointing towards the west side. So this emitter pointing to the west That means pointing to the toggle bus. Here, sides, the west side, output max signal. And no pulse. And the same thing for the false condition. If there are no seeds at all, then we do the same thing. The same emitter, the west side, output minimum value, 0. And if I just throw in a seed, let's take this one. Even though I have no program running, I mean no auto crafting, or we have not ordered anything, none of these programs have run. The accelerators will start immediately because the inventory manager will check every second if there's a seed on top of it. As soon as I remove it, they will stop within 1 second. Okay, so nothing strange with that, I hope. Next trigger, same thing here, we check every second. We check the input, or we input to the network from the iron chest. So we'll take a look in the chest. Here we can see different inventories connected to the Steve's Factory Manager network, and with the inventory cables I can connect to, well, a lot of things. So again, check the iron chest. I just take the west side, I don't think it matters. And we'll check for items, and I will check for Certus quartz seeds and nether and the Fluix seeds if we have any of those items. And here I have selected fuzzy detection, but it shouldn't be needed because if it comes from the AE2 system, it will probably always be 0%, but it's no harm in having fuzzy detection here as well. And we also check for redstone, nether quartz and charged Certus quartz. And well, of course that means creating 2 Fluix crystals from these 3. We don't need any accelerators for that, so that's why they're not in this part. There's not a condition for the accelerators. Just check for all these items, and if we have those items, any one of them, then we select an output to a new inventory, and this time the item valve. The upside, so we should output all these items in that list, and once again I have the same item selected. So if we get any of those items into the chest, I will check every second and put, if they are there in the chest, put them on top of the item valve. Then we have the final part, the final stage. This growing phase, growing part, it will stop as soon as we don't have any seeds. We're done. So that's what we'll check for. We have a new trigger, check every second, for the inventory item valve on the upside. Oh, I have west. Check the upside only. And I will check for pure crystals, these 3, and the Fluix crystal. If I have any of those 4 items, then we continue output to the ME interface. Because now we're done, we should send it back to the network. Target the west side. I don't think it matters when you output to an interface, but I'm pointing towards the west, so yeah. It felt natural, but I don't think it matters. Target ME interface, set it into a side, and I whitelist these crystals again, same as in the input. That means that when we have finished crystals grown or crafted Fluix crystals, just output them to the interface and send it back to the network. So now let's try it. we can order 10 pure Certus quartz. You can see it on the monitor. Let's continue with nether quartz, 10 of those, and 10 pure Fluix. And why not? Let's continue with the final 10, and then you can see 5 of each will give us 10. Start, and now everything is dumped in here, and there the Fluix are crafted or created, and they are sent back. We have them in the system already. The other ones are growing. You can see them. Well, let's place that one. It will go faster. And now the accelerators will do their job, and the program will monitor, run their accelerators for as long as we have any seeds, and if we have any pure ones, then send it back to the interface. And that's what we're waiting for right now. Simple, easy, no problems, I hope. But if you want to have it step by step, then stay tuned. I will rebuild it just behind me. Oh, just checking the last step. We're almost finished. And as soon as they are finished, pure crystals, they will be sucked out from the valve and placed into the interface again. I think they are starting to disappear. Yes, you can see only 3 left, and there they are. So now we have our 10 of each, pure and Fluix. Simple. Okay, so here we have the basic network that we'll start with. Storage, and we have some seeds in the network, and we have some material, and we have all these patterns. I won't go through that again because we've done that so many times before, and I have tutorials for that already. So let's place the interface and place all our patterns. So seed to pure, and the redstone and shards and so on to Fluix crystal. These are all the 4 that we will have and use and need to demonstrate this. I will build this not as compact as over there, because I will use the space to just make everything more clear. When we order crafting, all the seeds will be placed into the chest from the interface, that is. Now we can place the inventory manager, perhaps here, and we attach an inventory cable to the iron chest. You can have the inventory manager next to the chest, it doesn't really matter. Next thing is that we'll need some power, and perhaps we can have it on this side. Oh, that's okay. We draw our power over here, and that's the end of the green network, so to say. Toggle bus here, we have the emitter right there. The inventory manager goes on, or the inventory cable. Just I will build it quite open so you can really see what part is connected to what. And over here, final step, item valve there. So that means that we should have something like this. Now we need the accelerators. Place them around the valve. Let's see. Something like that. Connect the power. I will only do 4 in this one, so we can have a nice and open and clear sight of what we're doing. And yeah, that should be it. Now we have somewhere to place the crystals, or the seeds to make crystals, and we have inventory cable attached, and we have a way to power everything. Now let's start with the programs. Okay, that's the first part of the program. I've showed you this already once. I won't go through it in detail once again. So this will only check for the input and output to the top. Now let's try to craft and verify that that works. Let me have one of these. It was placed in the chest and it should be output here. Yes, you can see it down there sparkling. So that means that our first step works just fine. The first program. And let's cancel that crafting. Next part is to do the power. We will have a trigger and we will have a condition. And we will set the redstone emitter true and redstone emitter false. So let me do this. So, and that's the second step. We are looking in the, or on top of the item valve, upside. We're looking for seeds of any percentage. And if it's true, then we will emit strong power on the west side, maximum. And if we don't have anything, west side, output minimum. So now let's try that again and see if it works. One pure, please. We have it in place, but the redstone emitter is not emitting. Oh, I just found it. We had the condition to check for any of the seeds, not all of them, of course. Now it's running, and as soon as I jump down, they will stop. Redstone 0, strength 0, minimum, like that. Now it's off, and we can move along with the final program. We have a trigger. That means output the pure crystals back to the network. And there we have it. It's not longer than that. It will now every second check up here. Do we have any of the pure crystals in there? If we do, then output them into the interface and send it to the network. So now we should have a 5. And let's throw in a bunch of each and make sure that it works just fine. So everything should end up here. And this works regardless of if we have ordered anything or not. So now everything is done. Now we can order pure ones of the Certus quartz, and we can order Fluix crystal at the same time. And these are quick, as you know. And now let's order 10 of the pure ones, or the Fluix ones. And we can see them all just lying there, growing, and they will soon be sent back. So that's how you do it. Easy, quite easy actually. Don't be afraid of the program interface. It's actually not that tricky, but make sure to check all the condition and see what what things are selected, and check through each step carefully. And that's everything you'll need to know about crystal growing with Steve's Factory Manager and AE2. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, then please leave a like and all that things, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye. Hello and welcome to this tutorial in how to... Fuck it.